get us going. I'm going to say what happened last time, and I think we can just jump back into things. Some people conscious, some not. So last time you all had an sorry, 20 messages just popped up in the chat. In the secret chat. Anywho, last time you all had encountered a boy crying wolf in the woods. You had saved him from this encounter, and during such, Nana had a conversation with said wolf, and going to provide the creature with food, ends up getting bitten on the arm. The wolf seems to let go and runs off. Eventually, you get to town with the boy in tow, and you learn of a local folklore of a wolf that seems to devour souls along with the flesh. You're not getting off easy, you know. Told by a lovely old couple outside the shop where Keld and Nix purchase a plethora of jams and jarred goods, dried herbs and meats, and what have you. You all take up residence in a local inn called Flood Risk, as it is too close structurally to the river by a good margin. Either this was planned poorly or the river has slowly shifted over time to slowly take the inn. But during this time, you are approached by a man named Greaves. Looks to be I guess, dirty hunter type. That's the best I can give. Black hair pulled back in a ponytail, messy facial hair, furs and leathers, who seems to just have a casual conversation with all of you, wanting to know what happened, as it seems your story has gotten around town, and slips Nana a note saying, "You are in danger. Please come to my room with drinks." Nana immediately informs the team, telling them of this letter she received, and kind of going back and forth and deciding if they were going to try a stealthy approach to kind of keep an eye on this guy so that Nana wasn't by herself. When speaking to Greaves, he says you could have people with you, but he cannot give you the full information that he would if you were alone. So Fen flips his cloak and casually puts a spider on Nana's shoulder, and Nana is escorted to the room by herself, along with Nyx, who is a spider currently. In this place, he tells her that the teeth of the wolf are infected, and that you can't deal with that through normal healing magics. That he is going to try his best to help, but does not promise anything. He's just going to try. But which involves Nana taking a lot of psychedelics and him reopening the wound to place a mixture of herbs upon it. During this time, Nana watches hallucinations of nature and vine and flower and fauna and what have you move over the ceiling above her. And after this ritual, this surgery is complete, Nyx watches this man weep for a moment before she slips out of the room, turns back to normal Nyx, and enters the room again to take Nana away. So Fen and Nyx carry her off. About 3 minutes later, after this man did surgery and wept openly, Fen, looking for answers, enters the space. And it seems somewhere in the conversation, something hit a nerve. Something in the conversation hit Greaves the wrong way, and he asked to end it. Which Fen obliged and left and went to go have a drink with Roshan, who was leaving, and then had a drink with Keld, who stayed. And oh god, a lot of things happened. I don't know how so much happened. And then Nyx was spying on Egil, who started to get naked, and then but right before he, expose, as you will. He looks to the scrying orb and calls Nyx some not incredibly nice names, but acknowledges that they were seeing how far Nyx was willing to go. Nyx hears from Eagle, who asks to have a conversation with her because maybe he can offer more than what her current benefactors are providing. Roshan enters into this conversation by seeing the scrying bowl, and then Nyx puts everything on the table, saying that she was given a large sum of money and a sending stone to give information to Brilla. Through communicating with Eagle as well, you find out that it seems Brilla does not work directly for Olavi. It seems that she has a different contact or does something else, but we are out of sending spells to talk about it. So that is settled as Fen and Keld have their conversation and nasty drinks. And as Fen goes upstairs, Keld hears a knock at the window. And as you approach and you look, you can't see anything from your vantage point. And you begin to make your way up the stairs quickly instead of heading outside, to which you throw open the bedroom door, run to the window, and pull back the shutters and look out to the river and the snow illuminated by the moon. And that is where we are going to start today, is with Keld rushing into the space. And Nana, I'll go ahead and say this from the aggressive hustle and bustle of Keld, not wearing the lightest of armors, carrying a pot on his back, and just kind of moving into the intent. It does start to wake you up. You can begin to wake up. But Keld, I'm going to start with you, and you make your way to the window. What would you like to do? What would anyone like to do, really?
Well, my first instinct is to try to see if I could see whatever was tapping on the window.
Mm-hmm.
That seems intentional.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Also, not that it matters too much, but I can't see Josh and Katie in OBS, but they're on the stream, so that's all that really matters.
Yes. So that's gonna be a 3 from
Ooh,
up here.
hey, you don't have dark vision. It is somewhat illuminated. You can see where the river is. You can see where the snow is, and you had already located what you think are footprints of some sort of tracks. But besides that, you got nothing. You don't see anybody.
Weird. Yeah, I think so. There's just a tapping on the window downstairs near me, but I couldn't see anything. It sounded like, it sounded like someone trying to get attention.
What's happening?
Yeah, it just seemed strange. So, I would say good morning, but it's still night.
Is it? I couldn't tell. What? How long's it been?
Not too long.
Oh, it's backwards. 1 hour. Yeah.
Oh, only that.
Can I see it?
This was my check to see if I could hear Katie.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure if Katie can hear you. Oh no.
Katie, can you hear us? Joshua?
I can't hear Kyle
Lads?
or Jillian at the moment. We're trying
I
to
can
fix
hear
it.
Katie.
Yeah.
I can't hear Katie.
Bird base.
Can I?
Apparently
it says
she
here,
can't see though.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Sorry,
Pardon
guys.
our kerfuffle cultists.
But I will say, yeah, that pot's probably there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a good question. How do I feel?
Oh geez, I think my OBS is on fire.
Oh
Oh no.
I
Oh
think
God.
it's actually, maybe for a moment, talks amongst yourselves, and
Okay.
I'll leave and come back because you guys can see them, right?
I mean, I can see Katie.
I can
I
see
can-
everyone.
Oh,
I can
aren't
see
you
everybody.
special, Gregory?
Yeah. I can also see everybody. I don't know what that means.
Hey, producer,
Yeah.
do you think we could go to just a quick
It
break for
happened whenever the
technical stuff,
chat thing happened.
just so we can at least get the lads in.
The
One
chat
moment,
did
guys.
break on me though. I can't
Yeah.
see that.
We'll be right back, cultists.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you. We'll be
Here
back.
she comes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Called for episode 110 of On the Backs of Gods. Almost said 1010. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Episode, boys. we
1,000.
might have fixed it. Anywho, fingers crossed.
Looks good.
But Nana, as she awakes after having done a bunch of psychedelics, wakes up asking to know how she feels. She'll tell you. You do not feel anywhere near the level of, I suppose, intoxication that you felt prior. You are not actively hallucinating things in front of you as
That's
you
good.
were. It's more of a periphery sort of situation where out of the corners of your eyes you can see things shift, but when you turn to glance at them, they go back to motionless. It has that same sort of spinning, waving energy that you experienced with the hallucinations. So it's not something new. So you do recognize it.
Yeah.
You do feel a little groggy. You haven't really slept this off per se.
Yeah, it's only been an hour.
You're not fully here, but you are not currently like handicapped. You are not completely turned. You do realize though, as you like kind of your eyes will linger on something and it does start to get that movement if you linger too long, but besides that,
Okay. So I think Nana would kind of like do a little moment to kind of self-assess and kind of look up at Fen. Still, like, she's squinting a little. I think she may be a little bit sensitive to light still a bit. She's just woke up. She's still groggy. I don't know. Not 100%, I don't think, but better. I don't know. There's something in the corner of my eye, I think, but I'm fine. What's going on? Keld said something about a noise.
Yeah. Don't concern yourself. I think you need to rest some more.
I mean, if there's something going on and it's going to be a problem, I'd like to help if I can.
Huh.
Sure, you can roll a perception check.
Be my eyes.
19.
Much better.
Seems to be a pretty quiet night. Not a lot of people in view. Actually, no people really in view. You can see some shadow from the windows of the first level of the tavern as light sort of peeks through, and there's the occasional shift of people moving around inside. It's not incredibly strange to see, but you do see just like the imprints of some sort of track moving to the river.
Okay, they look like, I mean,
From here, you cannot tell.
yeah, they don't look human, or they can't discern whether they're human or not. Just
Not from here.
all right. These are looks like everybody that's been in the inn has been staying there. There's not other tracks. These are the only set of tracks heading away, or their general traffic in the area.
So this is more of the back of the tavern.
Okay.
So it is not as heavily trafficked.
Not facing the road or anything?
Nope. It is facing the river.
All right. Is it? I'm gonna go down and check on Thick Biscuit. Anybody that wants to come with me is welcome to. I won't wander far, and I'll be right back.
I'll take a walk with you.
Do you want some help?
Nana, I have known you long enough to know that if I told you I didn't want you to come with me, you'd want to come with even more. I think you need to rest, but you do what you think is right.
All right. As it is, I'm still waking up. Go on ahead. Let me know what you find, all right?
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Nyx and Roshan, you are also in this room if you You don't have to go.
They're like, we're just comfy.
And I think Nana's gonna sit up in bed and try and kind of like scrub her eyes and maybe look around and see if there's like some water around.
Yeah.
Nick said she was going to watch over Nana, so she's staying where Nana is.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
Roshan.
Responsible.
Oh,
Do I
silent.
mute?
Oh, Roshan's cast silence on himself again.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Good work.
Roshan
There-
is staying out of spite.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
That's a good reason.
yeah.
Valid.
That's fair.
All right,
We
is there
also- Uh-huh.
all the provisions you just bought? Did you buy any apples?
I'm certain I saw a
Probably.
few, yes.
I'd take a couple apples to feed the thick biscuit while we're out there.
Hell yeah.
Sure. Hey, no. Dick just stole my pencil. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go away.
The scribe and the DM's worst enemy, the household cat.
Okay, so
Indeed.
Finn and Keld begin to make their way out of the room. Door closes behind them. What's Team Room doing? As Nana gets up, kind of gets some water from a water skin.
I'm going to go look out the window and watch what they do.
Yeah, you kind of set up and start waiting to see them walk by.
Yeah.
I think Roshan is frustrated journaling.
Mm.
Probably.
I think Nana is not so high as to not notice that. Maybe feels a little bit guilty because, you know, the pieces, they do make sense when they line up. While Nyx is kind of looking over at the window, Nana will look over at Roshan and mutter, "Wasn't my intent to go back on my apology. I am sorry."
I know, and I know that you know that that was dumb.
I mean, to a certain degree, but he seemed to think that there was something worse, internal, something that couldn't be fixed with a simple cure wounds, and if this was going to turn out like the worms again, I wasn't going to leave you all with the burden of me growing worse as we were trying to make our way along the road at the pace we need. I
Nana,
wanted to
we've
be
done
with
it
you.
once.
I
We'll
know.
probably have to do it again. If not because you did this. I don't know what happened in there. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that's worse! You know that's worse!
Well,
You
if
bastard.
I go off for a night alone and am carried back hallucinating, then you can be disappointed too.
I strongly doubt I ever will get the opportunity because you're going to spite me and make sure you don't.
Yeah? I think Roshan will just give her a knock on the forehead and then share some warm tea or something.
Oh, that's nice.
It's
Nana
a
will-
strange sensation, I think, the impact to the center of the forehead.
I was
It's
gonna
almost
say,
like
there's some echoes going in there.
if you were like a body of water.
Oh God.
It kind of whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
Weird.
please don't.
And then you're okay. But it takes a second.
Okay. Ooh. Please don't do that. Just for tonight. Tomorrow I don't care. Just please. Oh boy. Gotta say, I don't recommend whatever the fuck this is that he gave me. It's interesting, but not a fun high.
I don't plan on taking any. So,
It's probably for the best. I will say, though, I did not feel a damn thing if he was really doing anything with my arm at all, which...
Oh, I can tell you
what
he did. He sure did.
Oh, yeah? Really? It looks fine.
I got to watch, remember?
Well, yes, and I'm very grateful that you were there to do so, and that's part of the reason why I felt like it wasn't the peak of stupidity for me to do by myself. At least there was someone there who could go for help if need be. But, no, I genuinely have no idea what occurred after. I mean, I laid down on the bed, and that's about the last thing I remember clearly. I think I remember something about Yggdrasil.
perhaps earth magic.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it could be, or it could just be the mushrooms. I'm not sure.
I can tell you he did a really
A
bad job
different
of
kind of
rounding up
earth
his stuff.
magic.
What?
A different kind of earth magic.
Mhm.
What did Nick say?
Oh, that he didn't do a very good job of using his mortar and pestle. That's all I can tell you. He's really not well practiced at what he did, but it was
That
fine
doesn't
enough.
make me feel better. Oh.
I
Next
didn't
time,
think it would have been right for me to pop out to correct him in that moment because
Oh, you would have been a spider, and I can only assume he was. I would guess he was probably cutting something open, so he probably had something sharp, and that would have been great.
The most
I don't know, I
animated
think-
little jumping spider.
just the spider.
It might have been
pulling.
funny, I guess, but probably not great in the long run.
No.
I don't know. No, it's just.
Well,
So far as
it sounds like Nyx is a more talented healer anyway. So maybe next time we get in trouble, we let Nyx do the healing rather than scruffy ranger man.
Stranger.
You wanted to cry.
I'm very fine. I'm perfectly fine with Nyx doing any healing she is comfortable doing from here on out. Gulvig is my witness. Can't do that anymore.
So
Whatever.
Josh detected a little bit of a slight there from Nana, and Roshan rolled like a 30 insight. Can he tell that she's a little bit not mad about it, a little bit into it?
I mean, with a 30 insight,
Jeez.
You can't even fight that.
it
It's impossible.
cannot be refuted that there was some aspect of enjoyment of the company involved in the situation. A small amount. It was there.
New kink unlocked.
I mean,
Just be careful next time.
I will endeavor. I was trying to be as careful as I possibly could be in this particular occasion, and I promise you, if I had any inkling that he genuinely felt, if he was going to do me harm, you have to believe me, I wouldn't have just let him do whatever. I'm not always the peak judge of character, but then again, you're not always the sharpest yourself. Not necessarily often.
Egil has turned out to be a lovely man.
That is very true.
He blowed us up one time.
He blew you up?
Yes, he blew us up when he met us. Has Roshan told you how he met his boyfriend?
No, I just learned a little bit ago that they're even dating. It's a whole story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't look more surprised.
He blowed us up real good, and then he kidnapped us. But he was going to kill us and then didn't, so...
I'm going to say what I did makes up for all of that, then, you know?
Fine, we're even.
I think so. I think we're
Finally.
all square here in this room. None of us have anything on anyone else.
The people in the room and Egil now have a clean slate.
Huzzah.
Keld and Fen sucks to suck.
Oh,
You still
Oh,
have your
no.
debts.
boys are
How will we
gross.
ever pay them?
Oh no.
Just a rogues
Alright.
gallery of equity up there. That's everybody. Everybody equal.
Eagle.
But
We're squaresies.
as you all talk and kind of get caught up on a few things, maybe some hot goss, Keld and Fen, you make your way out of the room and begin to go down the hall where you see a door closer to the stairs open, which you recognize as Greaves' room. And he like steps out, closes the door and locks it. And you can see in his hand he's holding a flask. And he glances over. Oh. Hey, I'll go down first. Honestly, it's easier to spy on somebody if they're walking ahead of you, you know. And he turns and begins to walk down the stairs.
Not everything is about you.
What did you say? I couldn't hear you.
Fen said not everything is about you, audibly, so that he could hear that.
Yeah. It seems tonight it was.
Well, not now. Going down to feed a horse, actually.
Have fun. He continues down the stairs and then disappears out of view.
Awkward. Huh.
Can we go out the back door, or is that like not accessible to the public?
It's up to you guys if you want to try. I mean, you can see it. It's not like it doesn't have exactly like a back room. Everything's sort of shoved into the main space. So there are windows that you can see out into this area. So, I mean, it's just a door on the side next to the bar.
You want to take a look
Doesn't
while
hurt
we're
to
here
ask.
at those footprints, and then make our way to the stables.
Yeah. Just curious.
You two begin to make your way out. Greaves has he's not sitting, he like leans forward on the bar, seems to have a pleasant relationship with Allen, the man working there, and kind of.
How can you not?
How can
As
you
we
not?
pass them on, I'll say, try them a lot.
It's not for drinking. And he points to like the thing that has like the highest alcohol count. And Allen pours it into the flask for him, and he takes it. Keld, I'm going to give you the ability to see this because I feel like this is part of your character's specialty. Now that you're closer to him and he is not, just bulldozing ahead as you walk past,
Yeah.
you can see like the red tint to his eyes and a bit of a puff on sort of the bags underneath. You can tell when somebody's been crying. So you clock that.
Yeah, I clock. This guy's unwell.
This guy's sad. But
Most
both of you are
paladins can,
welcome to
detect
head out.
undead. Most paladins can detect undead and stuff, and he can just detect when people are clinically depressed. That's awesome.
This guy's he has a chemical imbalance in his brain, guys.
Yeah. I can
There's a
smell it.
chemical imbalance here, boys.
A whole panoply of unhealthy coping mechanisms.
That's a
This
different sort of
looks like a
perception
rough
roll.
one.
I don't like it, sir.
Yeah, but you both
I'm
are
into it.
welcome to head outside. Keld, this close to the inn, it's a little dark, but you can see. But like as you go to the river, you're going to have difficulty.
Cool.
But you can see these footprints start at the window and make their way over to the river, and vice
I'm
versa.
gonna rely on my companion here with their eyes.
They go there, and they come from the river, knock on the door, and then go back to the river. And I didn't necessarily want to follow them. I just wanted like identify, are
Yeah.
they human-sized footprints, human-shaped footprints?
Go ahead and roll survival for me, and we'll see how much I can throw around. You know what a human foot looked like, so it's just how much detail are we going to get from it. It's
A
just
nat 20 on survival, which
Ooh.
makes it a 30.
Ooh.
Okay. This is certainly a humanoid footprint. Once again, you can tell it goes like back and forth. You can see that very clearly. You can also see that the kind of the mark of individual toes. There's no shoes to be accounted for.
I think
Kind of
we're going to be
weird.
dealing with a very cold person.
No shoes.
Do you know anybody that wanders around these parts with no shoes?
Me?
Yes.
I was like, what?
Me personally?
No,
In this economy?
can't say I do.
I'll ask out of character, is barefoot halflings a trope that is in this world that we would be aware of?
I would say most humanoids would not have a good time walking barefoot through snow for extended periods of time. So, like,
Okay.
you could take your shoes off right now and run back and forth and be okay. But, you know, you could not do that for much more, you know?
Yeah.
And these
So
footprints
it's-
go back to the river, but there's no sign of a boat or anything, right?
No boat, just river.
Odd.
Do you have a torch or a lantern or anything?
I left my stuff upstairs, unfortunately.
I've got a couple of apples.
I didn't plan this out.
Ben might have his knife on his belt, his kukri on his belt, but like he didn't bring his bow. He's just out here to feed a horse. Like,
we're just feeding a horse.
About. Do you want to take a walk to the river, or is that something we should leave for the morning? How do you feel about that? You're the one that had the rapping on the door.
Yeah, I mean, curious who would do that and then just run off. But I mean, I wonder if it's someone who needs help.
I will leave it entirely to you. It depends on how much you would like to sate your curiosity. I'm here to help in whatever capacity I can.
Yeah, I'd like to just go follow the tracks real quick.
Do you want to hold my cloak so you can find your way without tripping in the dark?
I'll
Wait,
say
what?
at least tell you could walk casually.
Do I have some moonlight?
Yeah. You can casually walk to the river. Should have asked Nyx for a hand before you left. But you're able to walk to the river. You can see where it begins and the snow ends. You got at least that going for you. You could also just casually go back inside and grab a lantern and go out. I'll say that's on the table.
Cool. I was thinking about, I'm sure Olin's got one I can borrow.
Yeah. You can slip back inside and you kind of like look at Olin, and Olin looks at you as your like hand reaches for a lantern. And he's like, and he just kind of turns away from you and goes back to what he was doing. So he seems unbothered. So now you can see these footprints, and you can see kind of the individual Tootsie situation. These are humanoid feet. not incredibly big, kind of smaller, more slender feet.
Like
But
child's feet or lady feet or like
bigger than a child's foot. It is not a child's foot.
Than a lady's.
Could be a dainty gentleman, unclear. Could be like any dude in this party. I feel like you all got like a slender foot. Like it's a party of like gentle walkers, except maybe Keld. I don't know what he's got going on.
Yeah.
8-foot tall furball. Yeah, dainty
He's the
walker.
most
Yeah,
Tiny
gentle
slender feet.
he walks on his toes.
he's very top heavy.
But Keld, you're welcome to lead the way and walk towards the river.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow these footprints to the river.
Yeah. You follow them. You can see that the gate is within the realm of humanoid possibility. It is not like an incredibly wide gate or an incredibly short gate. Just it seems average.
Average like walking speed or average like, oh, my feet are cold, like let's run quickly. Like is it like
average walking speed? Because you got that nat 20 average walking speed.
Okay.
This person, I wouldn't say meandered, but they weren't like ooh like
Yeah.
quick tippy tappies.
Shit.
That's not the energy you pick
Okay.
up from the footprints.
Hmm.
But you both make your way over as you scan the lantern over the river. You can see that ice has and is starting to and continuing to accumulate around the edges. You can see snow as it lands and moves with the current. You can see that there is some sort of flora fauna situation in the water, sort of the moving of algae and long weeds surviving under there in the cold winter. You can see that in this section, it's not walking shallow. You think if you like did like a running leap and jumped in, Kel, do you think it would probably go over your head a little bit? So that's the
Pretty
depth
deep.
you're picking up on is more than you, and you're a pretty good measurement.
Yeah.
And both of you can go ahead and make perception checks for me.
Ooh. Cold and deep. Yeah.
Did it again. 2 in a row.
Wow. I just got a 12.
I'm just here to have a good time.
Just a nat 20 making it a
come here
30
to see.
perception.
Jesus.
The world is literally your oyster. Everything in a 90 feet around you, incredibly visible. You
Must be nice.
sort of look around. Kel, you kind of like lean in. And you're like watching it's a little hard to pinpoint things for you, Kel, because the shadows beneath the water from the plant life, and now your lantern adding like a second kind of point for shadow. So you're looking at it. And Fen, you watch as he moves the lantern by. There's a glint of something. Something catches the light in the water. Something shiny. It looks like it's sort of nestled in a cluster of these like seaweeds, just in the middle of the river.
How close is Keld standing to the bank of the river?
I'd say like pushing distance. Are you pushing distance? That's my measurement.
Definitely. I was getting pretty
Keld,
close.
Step back. Maybe you can see it better from here. Come take my vantage.
Okay. I'm gonna try that.
There, and he's gonna.
Keld stands next to you and then slowly bends his knees.
Right
but
there.
you do see this glint of something in the center of the river. Something catches the light.
Wonder what that is.
And these footprints that we've been following, they look like they come out of the water and then go back into the water. They don't like follow along the bank or anything.
Yeah. Actually, I'll say as you're looking at it with your double nat 20s, you can see where like the very tips of fingerprints of a hand pushes as if it was coming out of the water. So just kind of
Wild.
embedded at the edge of the snow line.
Somebody in there?
I don't know, but with as long ago as it was that it's been what 30 minutes or 20 minutes since they came in, since Keld came upstairs saying that something wrapped on the window, or how long?
I would assume that was you guys are in the 5-minute realm tops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
We're
Yeah, I
moving
would say
pretty
you're
fast.
pushing over 5 minutes, but you guys were moving quick. It's just, there was the side convo we had to get through, but
Okay.
not too much time's passed for you guys.
I don't know how anything could be in that water and survive for that long. It's got to be bloody cold.
Can I do a little detect magic?
Sure,
Hmm.
go for it. 30 feet, is that?
Yes. How
How
far away does that shiny thing look?
That shiny thing is about, not going to do the math here. You would have to jump in to the center of the river, but it is within range, 100% within range to get it. It is sitting center, and you can see that glint of light now is a permanent fixture in your vision as it illuminates fully, and you can see that it has a shape with how to describe just a glow shape, sort of like something around finger length, and then coming from it maybe some sort of string.
Perhaps a necklace or pendant of some sort?
Her chance.
Well, I'm definitely picking up something magical. It looks kind of like a pendant.
Well, I can tell
Think
you, I'm
we
not
can get it?
enthusiastic about. I'm not enthusiastic about going into that water. One thing if we go back to the inn, I can get my fishing gear, and we can try to fish it out with the line.
Or here, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Or I just get it, and Kel begins to like slosh into the water. So
I'll be right back.
hey, just just so we know how everything's vibing currently, give me a Constitution saving throw, just so we know
Fucking cold.
how you're doing.
That's gonna be a 7.
Oh boy, it's very cold. Don't die
Yeah,
on
it's
this, okay?
like ooh, it hits hard. Like
It's fine.
you're lucky in your mind. You're lucky that you are stepping into it and moving at your own pace instead of having like
Yeah.
fallen in, because
Right.
you immediately kind of gasp and know you would have just swallowed a bunch of water instantly. So you begin to kind of push forward, and you're at the point where like you got to dive for it. It's like head below water time. I'm also assuming that you do not have your armor on. Is this a correct assumption?
Yes.
Neat, because that was going to add some throws to this.
Back at the room.
You take a breath and then dive under the water. You begin to kind of, it's not that you have to swim far, it's just that you have to like reposition your body as you kind of push into this very area with a lot of vegetation, and it kind of like you have to push past, and you can feel like the slime of it as you kind of move through and try to grab for this necklace. And like you kind of push past, like trying to push one of the weeds out of your way, and you bring your hand back and you see that the vine is like around your wrist, and you try to like push it out of the way again.
Hello?
And you can't. And you
Hmm.
try again. And you feel a jerk on your arm as you are
Oh,
pulled
no.
down flush to the bottom of the water. And I would love if Keld and Fen would roll initiative. Let's go.
Oh my god, guys! This is
You
why
mean
I told
something doesn't want to let go of this?
Me? I'm a cat.
Oh,
That's an 11.
Got a 22.
Hey. Finn's like, well, bye.
don't die, y'all.
11, and then okay. Okay. And then I'm going to consider the environment at the end. Just so you know, Nyx, just so you had this in your mind if I forget.
Mhm.
After Keld's turn, I'm going to allow you to roll perception.
Yep.
To see if you notice this at all. How
I'm
much you
assuming at disadvantage too, because it's dark.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, do I notice that Keld has been grabbed? Like,
That's also what we're about to do. See, the thing is, I hate to do it to him. Fen, you're first in the lineup and you're watching. And you're kind of looking over. For this round, because it would be hard to tell, this is going to be an insight check. This is to notice Keld's body language 10 feet under the water.
Come on, your eyes see so much.
you guys know how those dice have been so fucking hot all night? This is a 5.
Oh
Of
no.
course.
Hey, he dove underwater and he's swimming. You don't pick up on anything yet.
Cool.
Boy, is
Cool,
he
cool,
swimming.
cool. Is how
So
Keld must
you're-
be feeling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's cool, right? Yeah. Keld. Here we go.
Just like,
You watch as this weed is wrapped around your arm and pulled you flush to the bottom of the river. And you are currently holding your breath at this point in time. So just keep that in mind. You don't have any armor or weapons upon you. And as you're like trying to process, you watch as a few more of these weeds sort of turn focus, to say, and move in towards your arms and body. So let me go ahead and make some rolls.
not friends, not friends.
You know, it'd be like that sometimes. I'll use all of my D20s that I have present.
What?
What?
How many elites we got?
What is your armor class currently without all of your stuff on? No shield, no armor. I'm
Good
assuming
question.
not the highest.
No. 10.
That's not terrible, but you know, it's not the best.
That's just my skin.
And then one more. Okay. One of them whips towards you, and you kind of like try to push your body kind of, and you just sort of like kind of lazily float to the side, but it like grabs at where you were and misses. But 3 others strike home, and the one around your arm begins to squeeze and constrict your body. So let's roll some damage. Why not?
Rude.
You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage as these things hit into you, and like the impact isn't incredibly painful. It's when they wrap around you and begin to squeeze is where it starts to become painful, as you are now you have 2 on one arm, 1 on the other, and 1 on your leg is your current situation. And you feel the one on your leg pulls you downwards and tries to pin your leg to the floor of the river. That is your current situation. No, I don't need
Curiosity killed the cat.
to.
I hope Bubbles
Curiosity
rising
killed
to
the Keld.
is enough of an insight for Finn.
More than a 5 or whatever he got. But Keld, you are up. You are currently aware of your situation. But as your arm is pulled down, just like right next to your hand is what you can now tell very definitively is a necklace. So it's just like right next to your hand. So you could probably scoop it up if that's your goal right now. But you are currently grappled.
Might as well.
So your movement is 0. That's the only thing occurring right now. Is there anything you'd like to do? Do you want to? Would you like to try to do some sort of attack or try to pull free? Use magic?
I definitely want to try to pull free.
Yeah.
Give that a shot right now.
You can go ahead and give me athletics or acrobatics.
Oh, okay. We've got a 25.
Now, this only seems fair. Seeing as that is double the DC, you fully break one of your arms free, the one that had the double binding, and just like rip it free. And like, you know what? That's a high roll. You take these vines with you. They snap off at the base of wherever they were, and they are now just kind of loosely around your arm.
Yeah.
And you can see now, kind of, plop, 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 and you watch as kind of a sucker of a mouth pushes up, and a bunch of little eyes sort of blink up at you, kind of mindlessly. But you can see that these pieces of fauna are attached to it. You've used your action. You cannot use your movement. Do you have a bonus action you want to use? But you break 2 of the tendrils.
No, I don't have a bonus action I can use right now.
You know, Misty Step or anything?
Oh. Isn't there one still attached to me?
There is, but you can... I don't think Misty Step cares much for grappled.
Really?
I don't think so. I could be mistaken, but I don't think it does.
Check
it magically moves you.
Well, first I want to try to grab that necklace.
That will be your free action. As you have a free arm now, that's easy enough.
Perfect. And I'm going to try to scoop up that necklace and Misty Step.
Okay. Does Misty Step have verbal components?
It sure does.
You know what? I'll give you a chance.
Does it really have to understand me?
Does the magic in the ether have to understand, though?
Really, it should be enough for it to understand the magic in your heart.
So I would like you to roll straight charisma. This is just you out talking the water. That's what I want to see.
Straight charisma roll. 1 second. What would that be? Okay. Well, that's a 13.
1 second. Keld, you have to it's like at this moment you have made the choice to get rid of your air supply.
Yes, I made that choice.
And you push out with as much force as you can, try to get the verbal components out. And that is where we are going to take our break. Thank you all for being here. We're going to take a 10-minute break. So go get a snack, go get a drink. And we will see you guys in 10 minutes. See you then.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 110 of On the Backs of. Oh, I did it again. 110 of On the Backs of. This time, like stepping into like without the 0 after the 1. I'll figure it out. 110, 110
Only
of
110,
On the
not
Backs of
1,010.
Currently, the party is split, and we know how that shit goes. Keld and Fen. It's difficult to also say that because I'm used to saying Keld and Nyx a lot. So I'm like, there's always a slight hesitation as I integrate the newer characters. I'm like, Keld and who's with not Nyx. You all follow some humanoid bear footprints, not the animal, but without shoe, to the river where you can see an object shine beneath the waves. I won't correct that. You use detect magic, and you can see that there's something which you later realize when you're up close and personal is a necklace. Fen suggests he could go get something like his fishing rod, and you are already in the water as you march your way in and then dive down into these vines, these water weeds that begin to wrap around you and seem intent on taking you to the bottom of the river and keeping you there, perchance. Or maybe they're just saying hello, unclear. But as you're there, you rip your arm away from two of these tendrils that go limp as they fall away from the form they were attached to. And you scoop up this necklace. And Kel, just like in this moment of panic, where were you aiming to go?
I'm not sure if I'm like correctly oriented in the water right now, but I was trying to go towards the shoreline from whence I came.
Yeah. And as you push all the air out of your lungs to try to get out the verbal components, the tightness on your arm and leg disappears as you feel yourself rush through this kind of like this quick magical air and land sopping wet next to Fen on the shoreline.
Meanwhile, Fen, has he been using his kukri to clean out under his fingernails? Like he's not paying attention at all?
Oh.
The hell did you
Does he
come
take
from?
out like a whole bush of water?
Just like splashes, that would be funny. Splashes with a bunch of water.
Yeah, you land directly in the snow after being in said freezing cold water. Ooh. And just sort of land sopping wet, but holding this necklace.
Yes.
Gods, how did you get back here so fast? That was
just a little misty step. Very.
You will have to teach me how to do that.
If I can, I will. It comes in handy.
I'm almost all ears. Teach me how to do that someday.
You got it.
You've got to be cold. Let's get you back inside.
I'm freezing.
As you hold the necklace in front of you and get to take a look at it, it has a wand-shaped crystal hanging from the bottom. So it's about finger length of this crystal with a bit of a pointed edge pointing downwards. It's the best way to describe is that it looks like glass, but it has a murky look to it. Like it's not like pure and cut. Like there is just a hint of
like this, perhaps.
That is the shape. Yes, that is the shape. And there just seems to be just a bit of murk kind of moving through the stone, not actively moving, but you can see in the center, suspended inside of this crystal, is what looks like a piece of moss, perhaps. And as you turn, like as you're looking at it, it looks like a little line of moss, and you turn it in your hand. You can see it shaped like a heart.
Huh.
And the chain is silver, but has a leather cord run through it. So you currently have this magical necklace in hand with a little heart in the middle.
Well, it's very pretty. I wonder. Oh, I have to look it up closer. And it showed up as magical, right?
Yes, this is. I would say, still looking at it, it's like, oh yeah.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna clutch that as we make our way back.
Yeah, very pretty. I'm not sure it was worth you going in the water for. You must be freezing cold. Let's get you back inside.
You
Still
all head
unaware
back
that
in-
anything happened underwater.
Yeah.
No.
Well, something didn't want to let go of it. I will say that.
Something didn't want to let go of it, like it was snagged on a log or something.
There was some seaweed or some sort of vines down there that were trying to keep it.
Oh, it was tangled up. I experienced that when I was fishing earlier. My line kept getting tangled in the seaweed, but yeah, I would.
Yeah, that was mostly why I didn't want you to use the fishing tools. Didn't want to break anything.
I would hate to break your fishing line. As you two make your way inside and make your way upstairs, I would just love to know from Team Upstairs, as they walk back into the room, like, what is just the tail end of the topic we are on? I would just love to know
Yeah.
where we are as we enter the space.
I feel like there was some point during the conversation where Nana wanted, like, maybe not a play-by-play necessarily of exactly.
She gave full details. Everything.
Okay.
I think
All right.
Roshan is saying, "Marry, fuck, kill, held, Fen, Greaves."
Um,
Oh, no.
She just cover your ears. Doesn't want to hear it.
That's terrible.
That's
I
terrible.
love them.
sorry, now I have to wait for the answer actually before I bring you guys in.
Yeah. Who was asked?
You realize asking me to kill any of those people is not on.
It's a hypothetical
Wait, I'll-
game.
That's dreadful. I can't well say anything about Keld in front of Nyx anyway.
I'm not listening, I promise.
And I think more of Finn as like a brother or something. And so like none of those options is appealing if I'm being frank. And I mean like, I don't know, Greaves is interesting, but I certainly wouldn't consider him marriageable material. Does not wash his face or his hands, I will say that much. Did he at least wash anything before he reached into my arm and started rummaging around in there?
No comment. No.
You guys come in on while he was rummaging around in there, and I prefer not to comment, is what you all enter in on. But you're in the room now. Keld is sopping wet.
Keld, what happened?
Did you go swimming without me?
Did Thick Biscuit upend the water trough or something?
We didn't get a chance to feed Thick Biscuit. I'll feed him first thing in the morning. Kel retrieved an object.
Yeah, I found this. I will present this mossy crystal.
Nana has a very hard time kind of keeping focus on it because every time she stares at it long enough, it kind of starts like spinning off into the ether. She's just like,
Valid.
Roshan,
I'm gonna
would you
bring it
take
over to Nyx.
I'll look at it.
That would be great. Somebody else look at it. It's giving Nana a headache.
Somebody with eyes.
Somebody with eyes that are not addled.
Yeah, it's a murky glass-like crystal with a moss in the center that kind of looks like a heart.
It was shining like a beacon in there.
Where was it?
And these unwrap the seaweed from my arm. It just didn't want to let it go.
Out in the middle of the river.
Does that stuff look familiar? I should guess not.
She's just exasperated.
I'm gonna give it a nibble.
Wait,
It's
how did they?
Why are you eating it?
It tasted like seaweed.
Well, does it?
Yes.
Make a
Does it?
Constitution saving throw, Keld.
It was just a little nibble.
Oh
Wrong page. Constitution save. That was a 18.
Okay.
the Squidward nibble.
You taste an immediate bitter note that becomes familiar to you. This seems like it's poison. It is poison
Oh.
to the body. But you are able to kind of shrug it off, like, okay, I
Even
see
more
what-
Don't recommend that.
Yeah, do paladins have resistance to poison?
I don't think so. Oh,
Oh, they got resistance to illness or some disease or something. I thought paladins had some sort of resistance as a class, but
usually
to
to disease.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to derail things.
So you found that at the bottom of the river?
Yeah.
It was tangled up in
It
weeds? Just
was
plants?
some sort of weed creature.
There was a
Creature.
Yeah. It had
You didn't
these
see
little
it then?
eyes.
I saw the thing glowing in the middle. He jumped in. 6 seconds later, he poofed out of the water.
Oh. Poof.
Yeah. It wasn't that strong.
He poofed. I want him to teach me how to poof like that.
We'll never be able to keep up with you.
One level of wizard.
Rogue, wizard, ranger. This will be
Here's
fine.
one.
So what even is that? And what does it have to do with
Well,
whatever
it's some
it is
sort
we
of
were checking on
necklace.
before?
I can put it on.
I can
Yeah.
take a look at it first, perhaps.
Just
Can
She's
you-
about to put it on. She'll hand it over.
And Roshan will cast Identify on it.
Sure.
this will probably work.
So there's about a 10-minute period Roshan is quietly
Hmm.
sitting there.
You know, we really didn't figure out what caused the footprints. They just came out of the river and went back in. You didn't
that's
see a
kinda weird.
person down there, just a
I didn't see any feet.
seaweed creature.
How strange. What sort of foot? Animal? Human?
It seemed like a humanoid. Seemed like maybe an elf or a human female. Small, slightish footprints. Looked like it clawed its way out of the river, walked up to the inn, and then walked back to the river.
Does that
And then
sound
if that is-
familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know any old wives' tales?
Folk tales?
Do we?
Ye oldie stories? DM?
People are welcome to roll history if they're so inclined, except Roshan, who is currently focusing on a
Oh, yeah.
spell.
My
That's
plus 0.
Sure. I'll try with my -1.
I got an 18.
I rolled
Any
an 11.
stories come into me?
I got a natural 1.
Oh,
Hey, I got
That makes sense.
13.
Catching the other end of the pendulum here.
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, there are a plethora of stories of water-dwelling creatures, of myth, legend, of actuality, real things that
Mhm.
live in the water and are bad and good, ambiguous to morality. There is nothing specific you could like pinpoint. You could be like, well, yeah, there's a whole list of things I could probably, if I sat down with a piece of paper, Keld, I could
Mhm.
probably list things that go in water. Like you've known one for an extended period of time. You don't think it would be easy for Nyx to just casually walk around in the snow barefooted for like an extended period of time? Like she could probably do it better than some people. She could stay in cold water for longer than a lot of people, but it's not like,
It's not good.
Yeah, you can already, water clings to her and it kind of freezes up. So imagine, staying in a cold spot too long. A beautiful sculpture.
Yes.
And I will
An
say,
ice
just through
sculpture.
that thought process, there is a sinking feeling as you go into that thought process of, could Nyx go? Could Nyx do that? And then you think of her freezing, and I think there is just like a feeling
It's
of,
a bit sad.
you didn't like your line of thought.
No.
But I would say currently I do not have a specific that comes to mind. There's a plethora of things that could be vibing in the water. Could be like a little ice giant just chilling out. It could be 1,000 things, but not. Could be a person who just jumped in, they're gone. Like, that's still on the
Who
table.
knows?
True. There's no telling, I guess.
But Keld, that was a good roll. Roll insight.
Nat 20, 25.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, bud!
Now,
Sight.
Keld, you can't be positive. As you think over the situation as a whole, you're not sure. Who could say, really? This is speculation.
We're just
Your
speculating.
attention was alerted to the window. It was when you were alone. And then there was a gift in the water. The idea of the word gift comes to mind, and you don't know if that's right or not.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pivoting between gift or trick.
Yeah, I would say that is a place that you can confidently pivot. That is a place where you feel both of those confidently.
I mean, if it was a trick, it didn't work.
Yeah, I got the gift.
So I won. And then you hear the scratches Roshan begins to write out in the journal. This is the amulet of the indispensable. Basically, it helps you with your constitution. It makes you quicker on your feet when somebody is in danger. If they have fallen unconscious, moving towards them, there is a vigor that comes through you, and you can rush quickly to their aid. And blah, blah, blah. And healing, maybe your rolls aren't as well, your healing ability is not as strong as it could be. This has the chance to make it I make that number higher, guys. Just to be frank, it can make your rolls higher.
More potent healing magics flow through you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever. Some shit.
Yeah.
I feel like Nana might be kind of reading along as Roshan's writing.
Yeah, so it seems like a gift for a healer. A boost for a healer.
Seems like something pretty helpful.
Well, it does.
What do you think, Roshan? Do you think
Nice
it's
find.
safe?
Safe. As sure as I can be. I think it would be a great boon for someone like, well, any of you. Make you hardier and quicker to defend someone who's fallen, as well as giving you more potency to your healing. Since I don't need to touch anybody to heal them, it probably wouldn't be good for me, so...
Not really for me. I'm certainly not the party healer. I can get someone up from nothing. That's about it.
Well, Keld is the one that took the dive to go retrieve it. It only seems fitting that he should be the one to reap the benefits of it.
Mhm.
If it turns out later on that any certain piece of loot fits better in somebody else's possession, we can always swap around and make trades. But it seems to me that Keld should have this.
I think so.
And we
I
should
think it'll come in handy.
probably sit him next to the fire to warm him up. a bit.
Yeah.
Decidedly. Are there any
Roshan-
extra blankets or towels?
Roshan will snap a finger and dry Keld off.
Oh, prestidigitation.
Wow.
That's the good shit.
I know everybody's like all big on Wish, but
Much better.
Prestidigitation is the best spell in the game.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good for everything. It's the Swiss Army knife of spells.
It is.
I've always called it the 50s housewife of spells.
Yeah.
I
That was-
fucking love that.
That's how I've always thought of it. I'm like, if a 50s housewife could do it, so could prestidigitation. That's just, that's just my thought on it.
Bewitched. That's all Samantha was doing in Bewitched the whole time, was casting Prestidigitation over and over again.
That
Yeah.
makes complete sense.
So what are you guys
Honestly,
doing? Keld, are you putting the necklace on, or we lost him?
Oh
Oh,
no,
no.
Keld.
Oh, he's
Frozen.
gone.
Hopefully we don't lose me.
He's frozen. Roshan, you didn't prestidigitate well enough. I told you we should put him by the fire.
He's frozen.
You prestidigitated too well. He's gone.
hello?
Oh no.
He sounds very distant. There he is. He stirs.
Are you
Good
back?
Keld.
Roshan?
To us, Keld.
Am I here?
Huh?
You're here.
Kind of.
Roshan, you said it wasn't cursed.
I'm
Keld, I
leaving
asked
it
if you put the
Hello?
necklace on.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was just like, if he goes, I'm gonna go. It's just
That's fair.
we're connected.
Oh, boy.
He seems a little warbly, but that's okay. Keld, you put the necklace on. Your constitution increases by 2 at a maximum of 20. So you can't go over 20, but you could get to it.
Chef's kiss. I love it. Oh, he are chunky boy.
And then I'll give you the rest of the information after. But that's the immediate effect
Who's
is
chunky?
a hardiness. Is there anything else anybody wanted to do? Maybe not Keld, who's his internet, my internet is struggling deeply and emotionally, but I think I'm okay. Give it a minute to catch up. Anybody else have something they need to do? It's fine if not, but I just
I
want
would
to
like-
know.
Fen will feed his bird and then start his meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Nana would try to make sure Keld gets some of the tea that Roshan was offering her. She's able to get up and move around. She's not incapacitated. Just like, I wouldn't trust her to run through the woods at night right now. That's all.
All right. That is that. Anybody else before you go in for a long rest, perchance, or an attempt at one?
Don't say attempt.
Yeah.
We're out of spell slots. Stop that.
What are you talking about? I have almost all of my spell slots, actually.
That
Didn't
is
you
true.
scry a couple times?
I scryed once. That's the only spell
Oh.
I've used today. So,
Man.
Come at us, Jillian.
yeah.
Okay. Somebody roll a D100.
Oh my god! Why did you say that?
Make Katie do it.
I don't have one.
I would love to, guys.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What are the chances out of 100?
I had got 100 last time, but this time it's 55.
Mm.
Hmm?
And then the inn burns down. Sorry, everybody.
Oh
At
no!
least Keld will be warmed up.
Oh, Kel.
Yeah.
Keld's like, oh, this is nice.
This is actually really good.
He's literally the
A
this
good
is fun
pyre.
game.
1 second. I don't think this should be that hard.
I want to draw that now.
Do it.
Sure. How about that?
Hmm?
Sure. Let me
About
hit
what?
this. Okay. 55.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay. You all get ready for a night of rest, going to meditate, going to sleep off the amount of drugs in your system. And as the night grows colder and the inn grows quiet, the sun she do rise and you guys get a long rest.
Whew.
Jesus Christ, Jillian.
I'm sorry you guys specifically asked for a terrible encounter to attack you in the night.
What?
Sorry to not oblige.
Not this time.
I'm good. I'm good.
1 second. My last page of my notebook. I have to move on to a third notebook.
Dun, dun.
But the night she passes, the warm glow of the sun begins to enter through the windows. Nana, there's a little bit of a headache as you wake up. It's nothing terrible, but there is just like an awareness of your head, you know? It's just where you're just kind of aware of a body part. And it's like, oh, great.
Lovely.
But you all take a long rest. Spells and hit points abound. When you get up the next day, is there anything anybody wanted to do? Keld, is there anything you wanted to do?
Oh, yes. Keld's going to take some of those preserves he got and go downstairs and whip up a little breakfast to bring to Greaves.
All right. You head downstairs, waking up nice and early. Head back up, and you knock on Greaves' door. There is a delay.
Fair.
Yes. And there's a kind of slightly kind of groggy, sort of exasperated voice on the other end.
This is a friend of Nana's. I brought you something to eat.
There is a pause. Then you hear the key in the lock turn, and the door opens. What kind of
As a
breakfast?
thank you. Nothing too fancy, but I just got some stuff from Furch Farms.
Mm.
So there's like a spread of toast and jam and some protein I could find.
Some eggs, some rashers of bacon or something.
Something like that.
He hesitates a moment and then takes the plate and kind of lifts it up, and he sniffs it a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks. Is she lucid?
Seemed like it. She came to for a little bit last night, but I think she'll be all right today.
I need to talk to her. Only her.
Want me to send her down?
The thing is, I don't know if I feel confident that it'll be only her.
Hmm. Well, how can I assure you?
I'm sure you guys can figure it out. And he closes the door and locks it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
For the team, go do your team thing.
Team stuff, figure it out.
Yeah, weird, gross.
I'm not going to do the heavy lifting on this one, guys.
I guess I'll go back upstairs and see if Nana's awake.
I think that Nana is awake and kind of nursing her head a little bit. I mean, I'm sure she's been hungover much worse before, but she's a little tender still. Looks up as Keld comes in. Morning.
Morning. You hungry?
Oh, starving. Yes.
Oh, good. Here, I brought a little something for you two.
Thank you. Goodness, Keld. You're very kind.
As Keld, I'm assuming, puts plates out for everybody. It'd be very funny. It's just
I
I
mean,
made one for
No.
Greaves and Nana, and that's about it.
That's it. That's it.
I'm not
Nobody
using all my
else.
preserves.
Yeah.
Gotta make them last.
So yeah, Keld brings up some breakfast for everybody to enjoy.
Hey, nice. Okay.
I will sit next to Nana. Greaves wanted to see you.
Really? What about?
Sounded like he just wanted to check in, but I'm not sure.
All right. I'm sure that's what Roshan is thinking.
If that was in the first 30 seconds of our video, we wouldn't even get to be on YouTube.
And that's why it's reserved for the latter hour. Well, I mean, all right, if he wants to talk. Did he say where?
Sounded like his room.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess I'll head over later. Once we've finished eating. Did he? I don't know. How was he?
Hard to say. He just seemed concerned about you.
Okay. Odd. All right. Nana.
Do you trust him enough to go alone, Nana? Do you want someone to look after you again?
I don't think she's got anything to worry about.
I honestly feel as though if he really meant me any harm, he'd have done it last night. It should be fine. It's daylight out, and you know I can scream. So, if nothing else.
Keld, you spoke to the man. My question to you is, if it was Nyx instead of Nana, how would you feel about Nyx going alone to talk to this person who is not being completely above board with us as far as I'm concerned?
Well, knowing my sister, I wouldn't be too concerned.
Well, I know Nana's capable as well, but imagine that Nyx had just gone through an ordeal of having a magical wound treated with magical means and had been basically incapacitated for a full night by it. I'm not doubting Nyx's capabilities, and I'm not doubting Nana's either, but she is in a vulnerable state. And again,
I do feel better this morning.
You were the one that talked to the man, and do you feel confident that you trust this person, with the person who matters most to you?
I haven't gotten any bad signs from him, so.
Well, ultimately, it's Nana's decision. I just wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
It's just Keld pretending like he has any power in that. He's just like, if I had the ability to tell Nyx what to do,
I could tell her no.
If I had even a smidge of that
Like,
ability,
taking a lot of imagination.
he had to craft a world in his brain. Shit. Okay.
Well, no, I don't. It's not about being able to tell somebody what to do. It's about but you just talked to the dude. I tried to talk to him last night, and he was very standoffish and borderline hostile.
He was actively weeping 3 minutes before you did walk in. So
okay, but that's what Fenn's got to go on. So Fenn is concerned about this dude.
That's fine.
If I'm being honest, I feel as though he's at least been. He's not been harmful. And so far as I can tell, his every intent has been to help. And all that said, and how I'm feeling this morning, I think that if he did have ill intent, I could handle it. I think I'll be all right.
All right. I've got some shopping I'd like to do, but again, I'm not entirely keen on leaving you too far from us in case you need us.
Well, it's entirely up to the lot of you. I mean, if you want to check in on me from time to time magically, or if you'd like if someone wanted to stay behind until I was done speaking with him, that's an option. I don't know how late he's going to be staying, so I certainly don't want to wait too long.
How about you go talk to him and I'll check in 10 minutes.
All right. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, check in, and I'll let you know.
Be safe,
Nana.
Nana.
I will. I promise I will. If things start going strange, if anything is dangerous or in any way suspect, I will leave.
Or
We're right
scream.
here.
Or I'll scream. You know. Whichever is more currently available.
Is your arm well enough to wear your armor?
I would guess it is. Is it, DM?
Your arm's fine.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right as rain now, honestly.
I mean, currently you have his shirt on, so
I mean,
Oh,
there
yeah?
is that too. I do, Rob.
Maybe he just wants his shirt back.
yeah, he's like, "Can you send her over my fucking shirt?"
It's just really
that might be
embarrassing,
it.
you know.
That might be it. I don't know. Did
Oh,
anybody grab my things from his room last night?
yeah. I would assume they were
Okay, I
placed
would
atop you, like the table that you were as you were carried out.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Nana will kind of like grab her shit and kind of like. I'm sure we've done like. I guess you could call it cabin vacation changing of clothes, where you bundle under the bed sheets and just sort of do a little switcheroo, and then you come out of the bed sheets and you're dressed again and you're fine.
Like magic.
Magic.
Nana fully hides herself beneath the bed sheets and comes out clothed.
Fen puts his armor on. He does not give a shit about being under bed sheets. He's just.
There's not
If anybody
enough
wants to look away, they're welcome to.
So Nana, you're heading over.
Yes, Nana will head over.
There's currently a closed door before you.
Hmm.
Nana, with a folded shirt under one arm, will give a solid 3 knocks on the door.
Yes.
It's Nana. You wanted to speak to me?
And there's a moment, and you hear the door unlock and open a bit, enough for him to like kind of lean his shoulder against the door jamb to like look out at you. It currently looks like he's probably wearing his undershirt, so it's like kind of the kind of like peasant top that's currently kind of hanging untied, and a little bit of like chest hair popping out of the top.
Oh God.
It does not look like the whitest of whites in color. Was it always tan? Maybe, maybe not. But his hair is currently also down and kind of like in a bedhead situation.
Yeah, okay. I also brought you your shirt back. I know the sleeve's off and it's covered in blood, but I don't know if you needed the cloth for something.
So, why should I trust you?
I mean, if you want me to tell you for certain there's no one around me or with me, then I can tell you that.
I mean, you did that last time and lied very specifically to me.
Well, all right. I tell you what. If you want for me to tell you under no uncertain circumstances that there is no one with me or listening in on me, I can... Am I able to target myself with Zone of Truth and no one else?
100%. If you're in the zone is the zone, I believe.
The zone is the zone.
You're in the
zone
zone.
of truth is...
If you're in the zone, you're in the zone. That's just how it works.
Okay. I can give you a magical means of guarantee if you want. Would you like that?
I think that is a nice offer of magics. One little flaw, though, is how would I know it's your spell?
I mean, it looks like other magic that I cast, if that's what you mean.
He kind of, there's like a little snort, and he sort of like steps to the side. Come in.
Just hazing.
It's almost like you weren't prepared to have this conversation with me at the door.
I mean, it's not shocking, but I am sorry for what it is worth. I am not trying to lead you on or make you feel unsafe within your own space. I'm a long way from home and very slim on people I can trust. But I trust you to speak with you alone today. I don't doubt that you could have done me any number of harms last night if you had it in you to do. And you did not.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. Can I add my...
Yep.
Hell yeah. I never get to do that.
People at
All
home
right.
guess. Good luck, everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ba-bum-bum-bum. Yeah. Okay. Plus my... Ooh, nice. Persuasion. That is a 17.
He looks at you for a moment. I am going to explain just very quickly why what happened yesterday bothered me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get over it. And he goes, and he kind of goes back to that position where he like leans against the desk.
Okay.
I gave you the option to openly bring someone with you. And you decided against it. And I had to find out on my own that you were not by yourself. And I had to withhold information for my safety. I was confident to give you information and just you. So I'm going to give you what I can today, but understand it is not just you. You know, you say the wrong thing, the wrong word, the wrong sentence, and people get ideas. And you get run out of town sometimes, you know.
Okay.
Even if you're trying to help somebody. So now I'm past it. I can't promise you that what I tried to accomplish last night worked.
You said, yeah.
You need to be aware of the symptoms that could come with this sickness,
Okay.
so that you can be prepared to deal with it. And if you're cured, shouldn't have to think twice. But if you have nightmares, night sweats, if you feel more, I don't know your normal state, but more emotional than normal, you know?
Different nightmares from normal?
It'll feel sudden, these types of emotions. Mood swings, I guess, is a better word for it. Soreness in your joints. And like, I know you guys are probably walking around 24/7, so just that's not very helpful. But one of the big signs is the injury. If the place where the teeth made impact begins to raise, if it looks like it's bubbling or changing color, these are things that you need to be aware of. And if this does happen, and he's kind of just like, he seems incredibly uncomfortable having this conversation as he kind of fiddles with his hands. You're with magic users. There's towns, there's places you could go, but you need to find a healer who's probably more spiritually inclined than I am. I don't have any of that, but tell them that you are cursed. Specifically, I need you to use that word if you need to find a holy person to help you. It's I can't promise it'll go away easy, even with somebody, bigger and better helping. But this is worst case scenario, and in worst case scenario, if you can't find someone to help, I advise solitude or the easy way out. It's kind of up to you.
I see. Okay. I just straight up, I feel as though Nana understands the thrust of this entire conversation between the wolf bite and the discussion of the symptoms, and the fact that it's a curse, and the fact that if it does not abate with treatment, then, as he said, solitude or the easy way out are the only help. I feel like probably tales of wolf people would probably come to mind. Am I wrong?
What would come to mind is the story of berserkers.
Interesting.
Berserkers were warriors that seemed to take on more of the likeness of animal in combat, and where so that is the thing that comes to mind, is the idea of these kind of unhinged berserkers.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, say I do see some of these symptoms popping up. How long would I have until something worse happened? Between the start of the smallest symptoms and then the worst.
It's it's different for everyone. From what I've seen, if you think you are showing symptoms, you deal with it. You don't put it off, you don't hide it. Whatever way you decide to deal with it, it has to be dealt with.
All right.
Or you're going to lose something incredibly precious.
Do you mean myself, or do you mean a friend?
the self. That thing out in the woods. Probably long gone by now, who knows? Its patterns are erratic. There's no method to it. If it gets bored, I suppose. Smells something on the wind, I don't know. I think there's only one. I think so. God, I watched that thing rip her apart. He reaches into his bag next to him on the desk and pulls out this sort of kind of folded leather, like a small portfolio in a sense, a few papers inside. And he like opens it and he kind of gently, very tenderly takes out this drawing of a young woman, and you can see that she fair complexion, dark colored hair, slowly kind of just like a gentle curl going down her shoulders, and just a bright smile on her face. That thing took my sister from me, and I am going. This is my burden to bear. I'm not watching another person go into these fucking woods, and just me.
Right.
Just me.
Right. I understand. Yeah. Of course. So. God, she's lovely. Really. Beautiful person. I'm sorry for your loss. It doesn't mean much, but I've also lost someone, so for whatever that matters.
And if you let this progress, if there is something to progress, someone is just going to be charcoal on a piece of paper.
Right. Okay. So the old tales, they say that this thing can sense people that it's wounded. Is that true so far as you've been able to tell?
How do I fucking explain this? That thing in the woods is a fucking tactician. I can't lure it out for shit. I don't know.
If it wants you, it comes, I suppose.
I think it avoids danger to the best it can. If it senses a trap, it doesn't proceed.
Okay.
And if it can be a man, I don't know. I could have stood right fucking next to him and I wouldn't know. I'd like to think I'd know, but I don't know if I would.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Graves, you put yourself rather out on a limb for me, and I can't thank you enough. I hope that what you've done has helped me, but even if it hasn't done the job completely, we both knew that that was a risk, and I thank you for taking the risk anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, you should give your friend his plate back. He was bribing me with food.
No, that's just how Keld is. He just cooks for people all the time. But I will take that back. Thank you.
Great. So we're not going to go into the woods after a big berserker, right?
I've no interest in doing that, and I will do everything in my power to dissuade my party from doing so either. We're headed onwards to the next town anyway, and with any luck, we'll be able to just stick to the road. So,
All right. Yeah, stick to the road.
yeah. Is there anything that we can offer you, do for you, give you? Anything that might help?
Either I'm going to kill this thing, or I'm going to be an object on the floor surrounded by a bunch of other objects. I don't need another one.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. I wish it could be different. I suppose I wish a lot of things, but never made them come true. I'll take your words seriously, Greaves, and I will seek out the first best help I can find if I see any of the signs you mentioned. I hope you do find it. I hope that you put your blade through its heart.
I'll see what I can do. And he kind of straightens back up from his leaning position and steps forward and kind of like kind of right between the shoulder blades places his hand and sort of like pulls you, like you could see that he like looks hesitant but like pulls you into like a one-armed sort of hug.
Oh, shucks. Nana has seen that too many times from other people, but especially probably, I would say, some of the guys that she grew up with. She'll just kind of pull him into a big hug and hold him there for just a little moment and let him go.
What's your passive perception, Nana?
Passive perception? My passive perception is 16.
Mmm. Mmm. You go in for this hug, and as I said, the front of this like peasant top is undone.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when you put your arms around somebody, it kind of shifts the shirt a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like the flap sort of falls to the side and pushes, and you can see just the very edge of like a risen keloid scar, just the edge of it, before it sort of the shirt falls back into place when you pull away.
Okay. I don't think Nana's going to say anything about that. Greaves has told her plenty, and I think she can put together enough without making him drag it all up. So she'll kind of give him a firm kind of pat on the shoulders and take care of yourself, Greaves, honestly. I'd like to see you again sometime. Maybe have a drink that isn't laced with God knows what.
He like motions to himself. I am the picture of mental health. Good or bad,
That is
can't
a lie,
say.
and I know it because I've been there.
We'll see how make judgments next time, okay?
That's fair.
Give me like a week to improve myself, and we
Of
can
course.
see what you still think.
At least a week. At least a week. Take all the time you need.
It couldn't take more than a week.
Yeah, surely not. Surely not.
No.
You're a capable fellow. I believe in you.
Hasn't been years or anything. All right.
No.
just seriously, do take care of yourself and stay safe out there as much as you can.
You too. Be careful about who you say anything in front of. There are people that I trusted and there are people that I loved, and you say you're looking for the wrong thing. You say that they have, it's usually the word curse that kind of sparks angry fear in people. So just be aware of that.
Thank you, really, for everything.
Yeah. See you around.
I'll see you, Greaves.
And
Take
he has to
that
follow you
plate.
because he has to go unlock the door.
Of course he does.
But he kind of like reaches over your shoulder and unlocks and like opens the door for you. And then closes and locks it behind you as you stand in the hall.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure that conversation wasn't longer than 10 minutes, surely.
I would, it's right on the cusp of Roshan walking
Right
into
on
the
the
hall.
cusp of 10 minutes.
But yeah, nobody is running around and kicking open doors or speaking into your mind as of yet.
Okay, that's fine. Nana will, I guess, make her way towards the room, since that's the last place she saw Keld, because she doesn't know where this plate belongs. She doesn't know if it belongs to the inn, or if it's from Keld's kit, or what, so.
Yeah, is there anything you guys wanted to do before leaving town?
Yeah,
Early morning.
Fen would like to find the potter's shop, maybe a local cooper, and he wants to buy a shitload of various sizes of pots and jars and little hogsheads and stuff, because we have an alchemy jug that we haven't used, and Fen thinks after Roshan's description of what it does, it could be very useful. So I want to buy a bunch of little like clay and terracotta jars and jugs and whatever we can get our hands on.
Okay, this could come out to be a bit expensive, so I will add that up for you, and you can decide how much money's going into this.
Okay.
And how much you can actually carry. The amount, this would start pushing it for the bag of holding, depending on how aggressive
like
you guys are being.
crates that can be kept in the cart. Like that's.
So you're also buying crates.
Well, yeah, I would assume that somebody that sells like.
I'm just gathering the info.
Okay, no, that's fine. We can talk outside of the game about it too. That's
No,
fine.
I'll get some numbers to you.
Okay, cool. I don't want to slow anybody down with a little one-person shopping trip, so. But I do want to buy that stuff. So.
Sure.
I think really the only other thing on Nana's list today is to make sure that she thanks Nyx for keeping an eye on her through everything the night before. And of course, return the plate to Keld. That's about it.
Which I will return to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I also want to kind of just ask Olin about any stories of river tricksters, or any just stories about people having trouble with the river.
I mean, occasionally you get one of these drunk assholes who just sort of stumbles out there and falls in. Rip Lou. But yeah, no, I've seen, I mean, people push each other in. Honestly, for a town by the river, we don't have like a river monster story. The river's been kind of like motions to it. She's been great.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, the stories are mostly drunk people in rivers don't exactly mix 90% of the time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Did you see something?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a big deal though.
Well, I don't plan to check it out, so not my problem.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. You know what I don't do? I don't stand next to the river and lean over it in the dead of winter. It's not at the top of my
Yeah.
list.
Who would do that?
As the wet footprints you left through his hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would do that?
Who on earth?
Well, you guys, you and your sister are always welcome back here.
Thanks, Alden.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll have the chance to pass back through.
I think that'd be great. Yeah, just drop your keys off. We're all good.
All right.
Anybody else before the cart?
The horse, hopefully.
I mean, Nana's definitely making sure Thick Biscuit has plenty of oats and some apples.
The promised apples.
The promised apples.
These apples have been sitting on the windowsill, just like, God, I got these stupid apples to this horse. But you all gather up your things. Fen approaches very loudly with a bag and armful of stuff and thing.
Nana clumsily kind of tries to help him get some of it like off the top of the perch and like onto the cart.
And you all pay your tabs, feed your horse, say your goodbyes, and you climb up onto the cart and begin to make your way northwards towards the capital. And that is where we are going to stop today. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. Sorry to the people out there that wanted me to just beat the shit out of Keld, but he disappeared. I tried.
Nice try.
Yeah.
We'll get
Good
you
luck,
next
loser.
time, you slippery paladin.
I'll get it. There's nothing
Paladin.
easier to bait than a paladin, and I stand by that.
God damn it. That's rude.
Every time it proves to be
Nothing
true.
easier. But that's
But it
okay.
isn't a me problem.
Here at the Dice Cult, we have a lot of stuff going on sometimes. What do you do? We had a horror one-shot a few weeks ago. You could go check that out on youtube.com/the Dice Cult. You can also watch the backlog of all of On the Backs of Gods, Cordially Invited, which is Dungeons & Dragons 5e, planning a royal wedding. Very fun. And if you want to watch a completed vampire story, Vampire the Masquerade and the Last Remaining Light, you can head over to YouTube and watch a beautiful love story, which may be overshadowed slightly by the fire and the bloodshed. But really, it just kind of is where you're focusing. Fully up to you which part you take in and take to heart.
The light of love, the light of fire. Really, they're so close together.
Truly a wholesome campaign, if you're interested. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to keep up with the royal us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. You follow the Dice Cult, you'll keep up with all shows happening and when and what and who and where. Thank you all again. We really appreciate it. We love getting to tell you guys a story, and we'll see you same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice.